So, the sounds you just heard are coming from the Hermida Audio Tiki Drive. I have my Les Paul running into Tiki Drive, running into a Vox AC15, into the normal channel, that's up about halfway, the master volume. We'll call it 2.5, 3. This is a 2-stage overdrive. You have control over both gains. So this is clean, and this was the sound I was using with tone, gain 2, gain 1, volume, and voice. Voice about there, tone about halfway, gain 2 about halfway, and then gain 1 turned down. So gain 2 works by itself. So gain 2 max and gain 1 off. It is, to me, much more vintage sounding, even turned up all the way. And I'll go ahead and, so the voice control on this setting, it goes through, it makes it cut all the way up. It sounds a lot more aggressive. There's nice upper mids cut through really well. I like it around there. They're not cutting so much that it's taking low end away, but they're cutting enough so you can be heard. And the tone control is, if you need some of that sizzle, you got a dark amp, this will absolutely. It'll absolutely make you cut. So we'll go here, neck pickup. Kind of reminds me, in this, if you turn up even more, that kind of Chris Kane sort of thing. Real bright neck pickup. So we'll go back to normal, and I'll turn everything to halfway. So gain 2 is the only one that works by itself. If you turn gain 1 up and gain 2 down, you don't get anything. So gain 2 has to be on. So we'll turn everything to about halfway, gain 1 included, voice, and the volume is basically a little over half tone. So this is everything halfway. That gives you a really nice compression when they're both hitting each other, because it's 2 different drives and gain stage is stacking. So if you want a little more open sound, you'd go, I think, 2 turned up more, like I had in the beginning, and 1 turned down, because 1 has this really nice aggressive edge that when it's turned off, you lack. As soon as you bring it in, gives you that really nice, I'm going to call it, it's this nice martially edge. It's this aggressive upper mid thing that just is fantastic stacked. It adds a lot to this. So they're both different sounds, which is important, because stacking 2 of the same thing is almost too much of a good thing. In this case, you don't get that. So now we'll go and I'll turn down gain 2 and turn up gain 1. And I'll keep the voice and tone where it is. Actually, I'll turn the tone up to normal. So now you can hear that tone, or gain 1, is dominating, and it's a much different. It's much wiry sound, much more wiry sounding. The harmonic content from all these Hermida pedals is just staggering. It just... And I'm trying to create them, but it's also just... It's a very in-the-room thing. When you hear... This guitar happens to be very resonant and clear. That's how I have it set up, but even still... You can hear all the notes, and they all have this fantastic harmonic content that floats above it. So now, we'll go and play with this. So I'll turn everything back to normal. Not normal. The middle. So if I go the voice knob down, so turn this up. You can hear none of the low end went away, but this thing is also great. It's a different kind of cut than this. This is much more of the high-end frequencies, and this is really pushing that mid-range. And in this amp, it's pushing the upper mids and the mids, so you're really getting a big cut. So I've played this through a Fender and other things, and you get a very different sound from this. So now we'll go back to the middle, and we'll go again to what is my favorite sound. So gain 1 turned down to about there, and gain 2 turned up. That goes about there. I usually leave this up, but turn it down, turn the tone down on the guitar for my bridge pickup to about, we'll call it 7.5. And there's a lot of volume in the amp, so here. It can drive my amp. It's only 15 watts, this one, but that's why I keep it around there, because it just ticks over. So it's great. It doesn't really have... People want to always compare things to amps, and that's not something that you need to do, because this pedal is a great pedal in its own right. It's not trying to be anything else. I don't know what kind of amp that would be. It'd be a freaking great amp if that came from that. But you would be fooled into thinking when you play this, it's got the right kind of compression. It's not a compression to where you're like, oh, I got a Dynacomp on. but we're not at loud volumes here either, so. So, that will conclude the demo of the Hermida Audio Tiki Drive. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with more demos very shortly. Have a great night. Thank you.